The med spa industry is really growing like wildfire, which is awesome, but that means there is more competition. And with so many players in the med spa market, it can be challenging to stand out from the crowd. Today, I'm going to explain how you can compete and win your unfair share of patients in your local market. And it has nothing to do with price or discounting. Now, many of the things that I'm going to be sharing with you today isn't rocket science and may not even be new information. You've likely heard these things before, but I want you to really ask yourself, have some self-reflection and really ask yourself, have I put in the time, done the work, showed up consistently doing the things that I'm going to share with you today? Because the reality is there's very few med spas that are doing all the strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you today. And of those med spas that are doing these strategies consistently, those are the med spas that are winning without having to compete on price. I have hundreds of conversations with med spas every single year, and the strategies that I'm going to be sharing with you today are the common themes and things that multi-million-dollar med spas are doing every single day. That is a part of their language, their culture, their systems. So I'm really excited to share these strategies. And again, they're not rocket science, guys. They really aren't. But are you willing to do these things every single day? And I don't want you to be like, I've tried that, right? I've done that. I did that for a week, a month, or even a quarter. This is things that you have to do every single day. The very first one is, what is really have your authority or positioning statement dialed in? What makes you different? What makes you special? Because guys, everyone offers Botox. Everyone offers fillers. Everyone has body contouring and RF microneedling. Everyone is offering the same services, and your patients don't really know the difference unless you tell them. So if you don't tell them what makes you different and special and why they should give you their business, the only question that they're going to ask is, how much does it cost? What is your discount? When is the promo? When is the special, right? And so it's really important that when your front desk is talking to leads or clients or patients on the phone, your providers in the consultation room, when you are training your team, that you use the script or the language of what your authority and your positioning state is, that it is ingrained in your team and with your patients. Because when your patients know what makes you different and special, they're not questioning what your price is, because they understand the value in the difference that you are delivering to them. So now all of a sudden, because they can get their Botox for $1 per unit less across the street or down the street, it doesn't matter to them. But you have to be able to communicate to that patient, to that lead, what makes you different and special. And so few med spas can do that, right? The provider, the business owner might be able to do that, but can every single person on your team who's answering the phone, who is welcoming patients when they check in, when they check out, your estheticians, your injectors, your laser technicians, does every single person on your team know what makes you different and special? Are they using that verbiage, that script when they are scheduling patients on the phone, when they're rebooking patients at checkout, when they're making a recommendation in the consultation room or why they should purchase your membership. This is such an important piece that so few med spas do. And I want to give you an example of a positioning statement or an authority statement that I think is very powerful. Wake Up Beautiful has been in business for over 19 years and is known for threads, injectables, and being on the forefront of the best and most effective treatments in the industry. What separates us is we are the trainers that train other medical professionals in aesthetics nationwide. Our providers together have almost 50 years of combined experience, performed more than 1,000 skin rejuvenation treatments, and we have over 200 5-star Google reviews. Our mission is to help you wake up beautiful, and you'll always be offered champagne and chocolate at every visit. What I love about that authority statement, it talks about their luxury customer experience with champagne and chocolates at every visit. It talks about their experience, their expertise, that they are the trainers for other providers all across the country. They're so good. They're so experienced, right? And so you want to be able to concisely and succinctly use those major bullet points when you're on the phone, scheduling appointments, when you're rebooking patients in the consultation room, why they should buy your high ticket package. You've got to use these different things that make you special and different when you are asking your patient or your lead to do something. You have to add that language in to give them the meat of why they should listen to you. So important. So if you don't know what your authority statement, what your positioning statement that makes you different or special, you got to figure that out right away. And once you know it, as the leader, as the practice manager, as the med spa owner, you have to train your entire team. And everyone needs to be using that language every single day with each other, with your patients, with your leads on the phone, in the treatment room, right? In your team meetings while you're training. And pretty soon, it's not going to feel robotic or like memorized. It's going to feel from your gut. But you have to do the work on the forefront and really figure out what is it that makes you different and special. And don't just BS your way or flippantly say it's our customer service, right? Everyone says that. Really figure out what it is that makes you different and special. And because guys, here's the reality is if you don't know, your patients don't know, and all they're going to ask you is when your next special, when your next promo, can you match this price across town? I can get it cheaper over here. And I know everyone doesn't want to deal with those type of patients or have those type of conversations. The next one is med spas that are not having to worry about price and discounting have a ton of social proof. A ton of social proof. They have before and after pictures. They have 100+ 5-star Google reviews. They have video testimonials from their patients. They make it a part of their system and their culture to have massive social proof. Think about any big purchase that you've purchased in your lifetime. A lot of times that is from research that you've done in reviews, in testimonials, and social proof, whatever that may be. So this is something that you really have to think through of how you're going to go about collecting these. And you have to start with the paperwork when they first come in, the scripting in the consultation, in the checkout, the expectation with your team of collecting these before and after pictures, right? Rebooking or scheduling that 2-week follow-up appointment or that 3-month, right? Depending on the treatment, to get that after picture. It has to be a part of your system, of your script, of the entire patient journey. If you just do it haphazardly without it being a part of your system, then you're going to get one here or there, but you're not going to have a massive portfolio of social proof. So with reviews, the biggest thing, that's such an easy one, is you just have to automate that. Every single person that comes in with a transaction, they should get a review request. It really is that simple. Sign up, get an automated review request. It is worth its weight in gold, I promise. A lot of EMRs, in fact, have the ability to automate that process. It has to be automated. You do not want to cherry pick it. First off, you should want to know if there is something happening in your med spa so you can get ahead of it and to fix it. To those med spa owners that are like, oh, I just want to pick and choose who I send review requests, man, you are leaving a lot up to chance, and I don't recommend that whatsoever. I think before and after pictures and testimonials all should be a part of the roles and responsibilities for team members, and having minimum expectations in meeting that. And of course, you can compensate them for when they get reviews and or testimonials, because they are the best form of marketing for you out there. Okay, and the third thing, the last thing that I want to share with you, that med spas that are really going above and beyond, winning their unfair share of patients in the market. Not only do they really know and can verbally express what makes them different and special, not only do they have amazing social proof and using that on all the different platforms and tools that they have available, but they're doing a lot of speaking. And what I mean by speaking is they are doing video content, lives, right, on social media, where they're showing their expertise, when they're doing training, when they're giving back to their community, when they're doing treatment, and sharing with people their life as well. They are writing content or articles through blogs. They're doing educational events, sales events, webinars, and conferences, okay? Just to name a few examples of speaking. Those that really are getting their unfair share of organic new patients coming in are masters at this, right? There's two ways to play, right? You can spend a massive amount of money in your marketing, which is great, but this is low to no cost marketing opportunities by just hitting that live button, by just writing that blog article, by just sharing your life personally and professionally. Now, I know firsthand, for years, I sat back while I did my clients' marketing, and I told my clients that they needed to put themselves out there and to show their expertise. I didn't do it for myself for years, guys, because I had all sorts of different excuses and reasons in my head why I couldn't, shouldn't, wouldn't want to do it, right? And then it moved into, I want to do it, I know I need to do it, but then I had to get over of letting go of perfection, right? And that I didn't have the time to do it, or I did it, but then it wasn't perfect enough for me to put it out there. Still to this day, guys, I have perfection issues where I create certain things and then I don't put it out, but I've gotten so much better at just kind of letting it go, providing value. Guys, my team makes fun of me all the time. I have the worst internet connection at my house. If you watch me regularly, you understand like that my internet buffers, and when I'm on Zoom and when I'm live, right? It's not perfect, but I had to decide, was putting my content out there and hoping for the best that I'm going to have a good day of internet service and coverage, or do I allow that to be an excuse and say, oh, well, when I'm able to get that fixed or do that better? And I'm sure a number of people have tried to help me. It's just where I live, guys. So I promise you I've turned over every stone with that. But my point is I haven't let that hold me back from consistently putting out content. And I had to do a lot of soul searching, right? And getting over myself, letting go of perfection, letting go of giving a crap about what other people think. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to find my audience and my tribe that appreciate what I'm sharing, what I'm giving. And anyone else, like if you have a troll or someone that's mean-spirited, like it really is like ricochet off of me at this point, because it's those trolls that are online making comments that literally are doing nothing in their life. And so never allow that to hold you back. And I promise you that creating video content, speaking, it is a muscle that when you use it frequently and consistently, it's going to get stronger, it's going to get better, it's going to feel more natural and easy. In the beginning, it's so uncomfortable. It's so scary, right? There's all these tricks that your mind likes to play on you of why you shouldn't do it, why you don't have enough time, why it's a waste of time, right? But when you consistently show up and give to your audience, to your community, to your patients, that speaks volume to your expertise, to your authority, to your relationship building. If I was to come to you and say, hey, I have an opportunity for you to speak in front of 50 women about Botox, every single one of my clients would be like, yep, sign me up. Let me know when I can speak to them, right? But video marketing has allowed us to save so much time and energy and help more people to get our message out to. But why aren't we using it more? And at the end of the day, oftentimes it's the stories that we tell ourselves in our head of why we can't utilize this great opportunity that social media has presented itself. So the three things I covered today really have nothing to do with price. In fact, all three of these things require consistency and frequency, price or discounting at the end of the day. And wouldn't it be nice if you did all these things consistently, that you could not only not discount, but actually raise your prices, and people never say a word about it because you are positioning yourself, right, as the best. What's different about you, what's special about you, why they need you, why they should choose you. And at the end of the day, all those other people that are asking you to match or to discount and this and that, they just might not be your patients or your audience at the end of the day. But when I get on calls with med spas that say, I don't want to discount, I'm sick of people asking about price, if they're not doing any of these things, they're always going to be the victim, annoyed with price shoppers and price seekers. But if you consistently do the three things that I just shared with you, then you will attract the ideal patient that you want to work with. And those few other price seekers, you could just politely tell them that you may not be the med spa for them. And that's okay. You don't need everyone to be your patient. You need the right patient. But if you aren't doing the things that I just talked about today, I believe that it's going to be very challenging for you to move away from price conversation and discount conversations until you start doing these things. Guys, if it was easy, everyone would do it. But I promise you, it is worth it at the end of the day. So I want you to focus on really being able to communicate what makes you different and special. And not just you, not just the providers, everyone on your team should be able to do this. In fact, it's very important that everyone on your team can do it, because your front desk, your scheduler, right, is the first point of contact. And if your front desk can't do this, then they're never even going to have the opportunity to get to your provider or get to that med spa owner. Okay, so everyone on your team needs to know. Make collecting social proof a part of your system, a part of your patient journey, and make sure that you are getting on video. Make sure that you're taking every opportunity that you can get to tell people what makes you different, what makes you special, why they should give you their business, why you are the expert. Because otherwise they're always just going to come back to price at the end of the day. I would love to hear, for those of you still watching right now, what is that one thing that you can do right now, or your biggest opportunity of the three things that I talked about, that is going to move the conversation away from price, right? And allow you to attract the type of patient that you want at your med spa. Do you really need to figure out what makes you different and special and be able to communicate that? Or to train your team and hold your team accountable of how to communicate that? Is that your biggest opportunity, which most of the time is one of the greatest opportunities that I see with med spas, a great starting place. Is it collecting more social proof, right? And everyone wants that, but have you put a system in place in your patient journey to be able to do that consistently? Do you have reviews on automation? And finally, how much video content are you doing? Now, the goal would be to be eventually so good at video content where you're just really documenting your day, your life, your work, and not having to kind of think and plan ahead and reinvent the wheel. But that doesn't happen overnight. In fact, it's quite a journey to get to that point, but it can happen over time.
Question for you for sharing more in social media. Do you have a breakdown somewhere on the back end of the Diamond site for us that's got maybe suggestions for each week, things to post or things to talk about? I think that's probably the biggest thing, is like, what do I talk about? And then I guess the other part of that question is it good for us as a practice owners to put ourselves out there when I don't want anyone to schedule with me. I don't want to work on anybody. I want them working on my people. So is it really me that needs to be in front of the camera, or is it me showcasing my people on a regular basis? I guess that's kind of a two-part question, but those are my questions.
Yeah, great question, Katrina. Okay, so first off, I'm going to have our team share with you our content repurposing framework, where you can take one long form educational video, and we break that down of how you can take that and basically chop that up and repurpose that into mini videos, stories, quotes, a blog, an article on LinkedIn, so that one piece of content can work for you in literally 12 to 15 different ways. Your second question is what you should be talking about on social media. First comes back to figuring out what makes you different and special, and what treatments are your gateways or what you want to be known for. Because you don't need to talk about every little service that you provide. You need to figure out what makes you different, what makes you special, what are your gateway treatments once they come in that is going to open the door to your high ticket packages, to your memberships, that get them to come back again and again. So once you figure that out, that's going to give you kind of the meat of what you should be focusing on in your content. Now, who creates that content can vary from one med spa to the next. So like, for example, with me, I pretty much create the vast majority of the content in the sense of you see my face, right? Of course, I have a whole team that supports me, a video editor, a graphic designer, a copywriter, a scheduler. So I'm not trying to pretend like I do it all myself and it's super easy, right? You got to create a system and a team around it. But I have lots of clients that really do it all at the end of the day. But you have to figure out what's going to work for you and your team and your expertise. So while I'm the face of it, when leads come in, they talk to a salesperson. When new clients start on, they have their account manager. So of course, I'm here, I'm available, but 90+% of the interaction with our clients is with other people on my team. And there's no challenges around that. So for you specifically, Katrina, it could be you or it could be a variety of people on your team. I feel like it's hard to kind of spread the love or responsibility of creating content, because if you have too many people in the kitchen, then it's like, oh, I didn't do it, or I thought she was doing it, and then no one does it, right? Also, you have team members that just absolutely will panic and maybe even quit on you if they're told they have to create content. So I would see who naturally wants to do it, who you have team members in your 20s and early 30s that is absolutely part of their everyday life of consuming and engaging with social media. So you got to see like what's the natural talent, but it likely could and should be you, Katrina, and that's okay, even if you are not the expert or the service provider. For example, I don't build funnels, but I can talk about building funnels, right? I actually, and I don't do Botox, but I can talk about Botox all day long. I mean, I do Botox, but I don't actually inject Botox, right? So it doesn't matter if you're not the one doing the treatment, you can still educate people about it, right? And you are the business owner. This is your baby at the end of the day. So I often feel like it's good and okay to have that. If the med spa owner is not the face of the content, then it is more beneficial to have a couple people, not everyone per se, because that's never going to happen, but a couple people deliver the content, because otherwise you are potentially risking kind of building the celebrity of an employee and then one day losing them or them going off and building their own business. So if I had my choice for you, Katrina, I would love to see you, the business owner, creating that content, maybe getting a little support from some team members that are in their expertise, or maybe doing some of the cutesy boomerangs or interaction with patients. But a lot of the video content, I think, needs to come from the business owner. So first, start with creating content and social proof around your paid marketing efforts. It's going to make your paid marketing efforts have a higher conversion rate from opt-in to appointment requests, and appointment request to show up rate, and ultimately purchases, right? Because you're going to move them closer to the point of purchase when they see more social proof, more testimonials, more education. You're going to attract a higher quality of patient at the end of the day. If you love this training, make sure you share it with your team or another med spa that could benefit, and you get access to more free trainings that will help your med spa grow. Visit my link tree and my social bio. And join me live every Thursday at 2:30 Central Time, same place. Find me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Thanks, guys.